People who have been extras on a porn shoot. What's your story? I signed up for a porn shoot, thinking I would get to some Lena Paul kinda girl. Turned out that I was the boyfriend the girl cheated on. It was the kinda porno where I'm across the table and she's hiding underneath and sucking his dick. I could see everything, but I wasn't allowed to get hard because it would ruin the shot. In the 80s, my dad owned a video store and was approached by an adult video production company to shoot the intro to one of their movies in his store. He agreed, and on the day of the shoot they informed him that they needed one of the employees to be in the scene as the video store clerk. So there's probably 10 seconds of this hour-long movie with my dad showing these two women to the adult section of the store. Cut to a few months later. The production company wants to do a soft-core cut of the movie for cable channels, and my dad's scene is in the preview for it on the Playboy channel. He gets a call one night from his sister yelling at him about how he's in a porno. Apparently her husband liked to watch the Playboy channel and saw it. My dad had to explain how he wasn't actually in it, etc. He got a lot of calls while that preview was being shown, haha. I like how the people calling him automatically admitted to watching late-night erotic TV. I used to DJ at a club, swingers bar, or whatever you call them in your area. Not quite the same, but you just stop noticing the naked after a short while. Was on the set of a porn to interview Julian Rios with a friend of mine for a message board I was a part of. It was a mansion that was rented in Malibu. We were there all day. They had a party scene but no people to represent a party, so they asked us if we wanted to be in it. I'm always down for a fun new experience, so we said yes. All we had to do was walk out the door like guests leaving a party. We weren't actors, so we didn't know anything about marks, when to stop, etc. We walked out and just kept walking. They had to come get us to redo the scene. We just laughed. The director didn't think it was funny. They had us fill out forms. Again, knowing nothing about anything. I was happy when I got $50 check in the mail to go with my fun story, but I really should have paid more attention to the paperwork. I used my real name and I ended up in the credits and on IMDb. I like to tell people you can see the back of my head in a porn. Watching a porn being shot isn't sexy or hot. I was embarrassed and kept looking away, but it was an experience. One of the gals was sitting on the couch reading a Harry Potter book in a see-through dress. I was an extra. I actually didn't know it was porn until I got there. My role was I was sitting down at a cafe. When the main two characters met, you see me for like a second. I got $100, pretty easy money. Would do it again. My time to shine. A few years back I was offered a role in a porn, and as I was excited about the offer I accepted. It was standard uninterested husband, horny wife plot. I stayed under the covers and pretended to be asleep while ass got smashed around me. This question came about because I was watching some fake amateur style porn that had a lot of people walking about in the background minding their business, and I was curious if that was a job or if they just happened to be there. I was assured it wasn't a porn, just an erotic film by the guy who introduced me to the project, but a few things tipped me off. Saw them shooting a scene where a dude was actively jerking off to a naked woman dancing. I just played a cop and never had to drop true. Highest paid acting gig I'd ever gotten up to that point in my life. When they asked me what I wanted to credit myself as, I realized I couldn't put my name on it. So I chose my friend's name, to whom I owed some mild revenge. It's still on his IMDb profile. Sorry, Mike. I was an extra in scores of adult videos for one of the bigger websites. Here is how. A buddy of mine was super into porn, not just watching, but fanboyed the girls. Liked to go to conventions. I always found the conventions awkward myself. He asked me to go with him one year, so I did. We stopped at a booth. He wanted to get some autographs. I didn't care to, so he jumped in line and I hung back behind the crowd. I stuck up a conversation with some English dude. He was super cool. Quickly discovered he was a popular male talent. I asked him, hey, you know, in like a classroom scene there are students who start in the class, but leave when the sex starts. Oh dude, we always need extras. Hey, we are having a barbecue on Saturday. If you want to come you should text me. I take his number. Tell my buddy about it when he comes back and he freaks out. He wants to go. I text Kieran. He gives me the details. Huge mansion in the Hollywood Hills. We park. Knock on the door. Some random dude with a shaved head answers. "You the guys Kieran invited?" Yeah. Cool, come on in." The guy was the cameraman. He had us sign some waivers and filmed us saying our names, that we were not under the influence, and we were done 18 while holding our IDs up. Quickly realized this was no normal barbecue. That was just the setting for the scene. The crew 3 people. Kieran and the starlet were all super cool people. Very nice. Didn't mind any of our questions and was super welcoming. Their crew was 3 people. A director, a set builder, and a cameraman. The starlet was there and Kieran, a married porn couple, was also there just hanging out. Weren't in the scene at all. We had no lines. But we're just supposed to pretend we were talking with Kieran, and give some OMG looks at the beautiful girl in the bikini outside. Things like this. We were there a few hours. At one point I was told if I was thirsty to help myself to Cokes in the pantry. I opened it up, and it was wall-to-wall condoms, home enema kits, and roll after roll of paper towels. On the floor was one 12-pack under a box of plastic gloves. Was super interesting. Eventually they had the shots they needed from us extras, and were going to get to the action. We were given $100 checks, and were thanked for our time. The director liked us and asked if we'd like to do it again. Flat $100 per day. We said yes, and he told us his assistant would be in contact whenever we were needed. I did scores of scenes, and got a lot of my friends extra work too. I was football players. A married guy whose wife cheats on him did that several times. A clubgoer, a survivor-like contestant, a wedding guest, a ping-pong player at a party, and time of other things. It was a lot of fun, meet a lot of really cool people, and got some great stories. The crew and most porn stars I met were all super nice, relaxed people. Was definitely an interesting time. My buddy used to be a camera guy and his wife the makeup artist on adult films in Chatsworth, CA. They invited me to come visit. I didn't know this meant I'd be in a scene. It was called Frat House Fuckfest and I'm the guy yelling "F her face" over and over again while eating barbecue chicken. Apparently they were shooting something on the balcony at Tricor House in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. I was in the background as I was next door doing work for NOLA Live. It was by accident. There was this website on Bang Bros 10 years ago called Team 5 where they filmed average guys banging porn stars. I was at the checkout line at a liquor store and they staged a couple of random guys next to me and 3 porn stars walked in to seduce them. It wasn't until years later that my friend discovered me and sent me a link to the video. The camera guy never asked me for permission to be on film, so I guess I could have sued. Team 5. 3 porn stars. Well, I feel cheated. My girlfriend shoots fetish stuff. Don't really have any stories like you are thinking of. The producers and models are all super nice people. The producer took us to Universal Studios the day after the shoot. Saw the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, so that was pretty cool. Saw a gif earlier where the dude pulls a script out. Says thought I was an extra today, but okay, and gets his dick sucked, haha. I was an extra for a Public Disgrace and an upper floor shoot for kink.com. It was super cool. For Public Disgrace they had an open bar, but if you chose not to drink you could actually play with the model during a couple parts of the shoot. This one chick jumped in at the first opportunity and just went to town finger banging the model. The upper floor shoot was basically a fancy sex party with a porn being shot in the background. They had an open bar, delicious appetizers, sex toys and furniture to use. In the outside halls they had giant oil paintings of crazy kink shoots placed in golden ornate frames. It was the most posh sexy thing I've ever done. My dad is an actor and one of his first jobs was being the main non-sexual role in a porno, where he basically visited his high school graduation class crushes and was there to look at them having sex with other dudes. It's hilarious. He basically said he got paid like $500 for the day back in the 80s and was just improvising the entire time. There's a scene where he smiles at the camera while peeking through his roommate's door, and the last scene is him half talking, half crying to his roommate while he and another chick are going at it hard. The porno itself is absolute shit. He was definitely the highlight. Can't remember the name though. Found it on Xhamster. Actually, me friend worked for a major company whose logo you will see on memes. Got invited to be an extra and did so several times. Got paid a flat rate of $100 per shoot. Some would last longer. Parodies involving costumes, makeup such as zombie. Others would last just a couple hours. Often played the boyfriend who got cheated on. Talent was always super friendly and nice. No terrible stories. Sometimes a lot of waiting around while they shot the sex scenes. Sometimes they would cut just to focus on female talent. Saw male talent outside studio doing what he could to maintain stiffness. Some talent and extras would be using stimulants, but nothing terrible drug-wise. It was a job for everyone. Pretty professional and fun. They would often buy lunch for everyone on longer shoots. Easy cash and fun times. Female talent would be overly flirty. Did a zombie parody in Star Wars 1 amongst other shoots, where my girlfriend had sex with the teacher to get out of failing grades for both of us, or she had sex through's glory hole in a changing room whilst I waited outside. Probably not as exciting an answer as hoped, but if here are any specific questions I'd be happy to answer. When I said girlfriend, I mean it in the context of the story of the porn we were shooting. Not my actual girlfriend, but wouldn't have been opposed to dating one either. I had a girlfriend at the time that was not cheating on me. One thing of note that's kind of funny to mention is when they're shooting sex scenes, there are usually a lot of cuts and actions. It's amazing how in the middle of sex they can stop or start, and the female talent can turn off and on. The pleasure sounds like it's nothing, from completely silent to sounding like she's having the biggest orgasm of her life in 1 second flat. That's quality acting. Ha, I can answer this. I had a roommate in college who was a bartender. One night when I was about to start studying for midterms, I got a call asking if I wanted to come watch a porn. Bartender roommate said they're doing some porn shoot for kink for public disgrace, and need people to just stand around in the background. There's free booze, so obviously me and the other roommate go. Now, I was unaware what kink was, but the site has niches, to put it lightly, and public disgrace is what it sounds like. Girl shows up, gets in public with some bondage aspects. We arrive, and I decide not to drink, because I have midterm test the next day, and the director told us so y'all can grab her, but can't insert anything, and if you want to masturbate, that's fine, but keep it off the actress. Only tested actors can insert, or get anything on her. They start setting up, and this short chubby bald dude comes up to us and says, "So, how did you guys hear about this?" And we explained our roommate told us, and he said, "Oh, that's sweet, you see this stuff all the time. I found out about it on Craigslist. Figured it was worth a shot to try and come out." This dude proceeds to get super drunk, and very creepy. He very willingly engages in the "if you want to masturbate go ahead" offer, but takes it too far. When they're in between shots, and the actress is just sitting in a robe, he's still going, staring at her. Fat guy hanging out, sweaty. During one scene she yells, "Stop, that guy just came on me." Fat dude looks down super sad, and they tell him he's gotta go, and he apologizes. I almost felt sorry for him because he looked so pathetic, and I remembered he just ejaculated on a total stranger. The rest of the shoot was uneventful. I made it into the trailer just looking bored in the background, so that's pretty funny. I started a slow clap after the finale, but they edited to everyone just applauding. Slow clap would have been funnier. I wasn't an extra, but actually auditioned for a porn when I was 18. After all the STD test, they scheduled a live audition. I show up and meet the crew and the female actress I'm supposed to have sex with, who is super hot by the way. No, I don't remember her name. So we finally get on set and it's time to get down to business, and there are about 8 people in the room. I'm expecting most everybody to leave. I figured there would be me, her, the cameraman, and maybe one other person in the room. The only problem was nobody is leaving the room. She starts by giving me a blowjob, but I'm so nervous, and with all the people watching my dick has stage fright. They tell me to take a minute and go to the bathroom and try to get my little man to rise to the occasion. To make a long story short, I couldn't get it up in front of all the people. In my defense, I wasn't a virgin, but I wasn't super experienced either.